So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have fun by solving for this problem here. It's the same problem, okay? But we're going to do it in two different ways so you guys can see which one fits better for you, all right? So let's go ahead. So we have 9 power negative 2 times 8 power negative 10 divided by 9 power negative 1 times 8 power negative 9. So what's happening? So we've seen some bases, right? So 9 is the base, 8 is base, 9 is the base, 8 is base, and of course, negative 2, negative 10, negative 1, negative 9 are powers or exponents, correct? So we are really tempted to do what? To combine the 9 power negative 2 and 9 power negative 1. And how do we do so? By what I usually do, because this is a division, okay, of powers. So what should I do? I usually move the lowest power to the largest power so then I can avoid to have a negative power, okay? So between negative 2 and negative 1, which one is the smaller one? Negative 2 is smaller than negative 1, okay? So that means what I'm going to do is that when I say I'm moving that down, so that means it goes here. So I have my bar over here, the division bar. So that means I'm having 9. The negative 1 did not move, so it stays negative 1. But because the negative 2 moved, it becomes what? Positive 2. Okay? Then how about the 8 power negative 10 and then 8 power negative 9? So which one is smaller, which one is larger? So negative 10 is smaller than negative 9, so that one also, so that'll be times. So I'm going to have 8. So what's happening? Negative 9 plus 10. All right? So what is left on the top? Nothing but 1 that you have to claim. So you have to claim that 1. If you don't claim that 1, you're going to get it wrong. Okay? So we're claiming that 1, so we continue to do the operation here. So what's happening here is that we have still our division bar. So 9, negative 1 plus 2 is what? Is positive 1 times 8, negative 9 plus 10, which is what? Positive 1 as well. We still got to claim our 1 here. All right? And then what's happening here? So we end up with 1 over. 9 times 8 is what? 72. Okay? And then this is 8. So you end up with 9 power 1 is 9. 8 power is 8. So you end up with 1 over 72, which is your final answer. In this case, we do not need to divide them up to get a decimal number. We don't need that unless the problem states so that you want to get a decimal. If not, you're good to go. All right? So let's take the same problem here and see how some people will go about it. Right? So a lot of times, the rule actually tells us that when you have x to the power, so let's say you have x to the power m over x to the power n, what do? You have x power m minus n, okay? So that's what the rule is. So because the rule is like that, so what's going to happen? So you're going to have 9 power negative 2. So this one, the bottom one is actually the one going up. So it doesn't matter which one is smaller, which one is, larger, like in the previous case, right? So this one goes up, becomes what? Plus 1. Okay? Times, the same thing is going to happen because this one will go up also again, right? So that will give us what? That will give us then 8 negative 10 plus 9. Because remember, anytime the base and the power move, that has been up or down, the sign changes to the opposite automatically. That's the reason why negative 1 goes up becomes positive 1. The reason why negative 9 goes up becomes positive 9. Okay? So what do we have left at the bottom? 1. And in this case, we don't need to claim it because anything divided by 1 stays the same thing. All right? So I'm putting it here so that you guys just can see it, and then we just continue here. So this one is going to give us what? 9. Negative 2 plus 1 is what? It's negative 1 times 8. Negative 10 plus 9 is going to give us what? Negative 9 also. And then divided by 1, we do not need a 1, so we're not going to put it anymore. Okay, that's it for that. Now, 9 negative 1, 8 negative 1. We are not going to be able to multiply these two the way they are. So what are we going to do is to change them into positive powers. Once they are positive powers, then it's easier now to combine them together. So to make them positive power, what's going to happen? Then you're going to have to move them down. Okay? So when you move them down, so the 9, which is negative power 1 up, becomes now 9 to the power positive 1 times the same thing for 8 positive 1. And what do you need to claim? You claim 1 on the top. Very interesting, right? So what happens then is you end up with 1 over 9 times 8, because 9 power 1 is 9, 8 power 1 is 8, so 9 times 8 is 72, which is just the same thing as the one that we did before. That, answer there. So this one for me is just 1 or 2 steps quicker than this one. And that's the reason why in most of the videos that you will see, I'm going to do it this way, but sometimes also I will do it this way. It doesn't really matter which one, all right? So you should be okay with either or. Thank you.